This is our old hose reel. Remember when I got it, I thought it was a fantastic thing. But the only problem is, when you have to rewind it in, there's 20 metres of it. And you've got to drag a stretch in and you've got to kind of feed it in. And last week, I was at a caravan site and I got to use a hose that actually retracted automatically. And I thought, bloody hell, how wonderful is that? I've got to get my hands on one of those. I mean, this has done us for years and it's great. In fact, probably could last us for years more, to be honest. But when you're getting older, it's not so easy. So that's it all rolled back in again, and you see it's really neat and does the job. However, getting it out is actually quite hard as well, because when you're trying to take it side on, as I have to do to reach the garden, it kind of locks and it gets dragged. And if I go out the front, it's the same thing going this way and it gets dragged. Whereas new versions will swing to face the way that you're going, and it just makes it so much easier. So this is the new hose that we've got. It's a hose lock. There are others that do the same thing, however, I did a lot of reviews and I decided to go with hose lock, well recommended brand. I've gone for 30 metres, which is 10 metres longer than I had, because the one that I had didn't quite reach every corner of the garden. So let's have a look at this. It's got a handle for carrying, and I'll just lift it out of the box, like so. And it's got a wee reel here for the attachment that goes to the tap to keep it nice and tidy if you want to take it off for storing during winter, which I thought was a neat thing, right? So, and here, this is the bit that gets mounted on the wall, and as you see, it swings 180 degrees, so you can turn the hose to whatever direction you're going. And this is the hose. You pull it out so far and it'll stop. You give it a tug, very similar to a roller blind. Why didn't someone come up with this years ago when I needed my hose? Anyway, let's get it mounted. So the first thing you do is, of course, is get rid of the old one. So tap off, take the hose out, and lift this off the wall. Put it to the side just now. And these are the old brackets which I need to take off. So I'll remove these and then I'll show you me fitting the new one onto the wall. Oh, that was easy. So this is the new bracket, and it comes with its own roll plugs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill the 4 holes using that as a template, mark it, drill the 4 holes, put the roll plugs in, and then screw that to the wall. And what I'm going to use is hammer drill with a 7mm masonry bit in it, and it tells you to go 50mm deep, so I've just put a wee bit of tape there to mark 50mm so I don't go any further than that. Don't want to go into the wall and burst pipes and contact wires or anything. So got that. Then I've got to screw it on. Instead of using a screwdriver, I'm going to use a drill driver, and it's got a P2Z bit in it, which is the types of screws that these are. So that's what I'm going to use, so just let's get on with it. Now you may notice I've got this in a completely different position, and that is to allow the turning of it to go right against the wall and not strike this. Also, it's a much bigger reel, so I've dropped it down a wee bit lower as well. and hopefully it'll be a much better position and much easier to use. So I'm now just going to mark it off where the holes are. The pillar is not allowing me to get the right angle on the screws. Maybe it will be okay. Solid, that's it on. You can wash all this down, all the dirt that's come out of the brick. Other than that, we're a step further forward. That bit on first. And that's it. Fully free, 180 degrees. And uncoil this to fit the connectors. This is the connectors that come with it. I've just read the instructions, which I have to admit, typical man, is something I seldom do. But it tells you you've got to take this off, just clicks off, and first of all connect this onto here. So unscrew this, and always remember to put that on first. That's the thing I often forget to do, and I connect it all up. You know. Anyway, this squeezes in here. Make sure it's in with a good fit, and then screw this up. It's always good to make sure that you get it on the right thread, because if you don't, you end up destroying threads, and then you'll have to send away for a new part, and it's only just new. So that's that, hopefully. And this will go back on again, wee arrow against that arrow. Simples. Right, so fitting on here now. I'll go and get them. They actually come with pretty good instructions, and I've got two hose fittings here. One has got red colour on it and one doesn't. So discovered that the red colour goes to the end of the hose here, and this one is what goes onto the tap. So very easy to put on. Again, take off this, make sure you put that on first, squeeze this onto there. If you find it stiff, always find it, heat it in hot water and it gets a lot more pliable. Put it on, screw it up, and attach it to the hose, to the tap. This bit here, same thing. Make sure you put the cap on here, squeeze in the hose, and then screw it up tight. And this is the bit that the hose connection goes in, whatever hose connection you've got. This is not the one that comes with it, but this is the one I prefer. It hooks up like such. And the water's coming through. Are we nearly there? Of course, it's got 30 metres of pipe to go through. And there she goes. Superb. So I've now got a unit that will turn and flex. So I'll now get to try this out